What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Couch Talk. Again, we're just gonna get right into it. So this topic that I'm gonna chat about today is super relevant to I think a lot of people, um, and it can be in a small form or a large form. Uh, but the topic is failure and failing at something. So failure tends to have a very negative connotation with it when I really don't think it should be that way. Yeah, in the moment, failing at whatever it is might suck, but I think it's important to shift that mentality into failing is good. Failing is important to succeed because um, in the end, failure will only leave you open for feedback, for growth, for just getting better. And I think failing is kind of like I said, this is the opportunity to get that feedback, get that constructive criticism on whatever you may have failed at, whether it be fail a test, you fail a hobby that you were hoping went somewhere, you fail at a job, you fail at whatever. I think a big thing that comes with failure too is you get good at learning how to take feedback as that helps you grow. I know a lot of people have a really hard time taking that constructive criticism, taking that feedback, because they end up taking it personally. When in the end, assuming it's coming from the right people, that feedback or constructive criticism is not to be a personal attack. It's to just help you be better at whatever you just failed at. So I would say try really hard to get good at learning that feedback. As somebody that went through a master's degree, I got good at taking feedback. Graduating projects, massive projects, working with clients, you name it. Because in the end, you want to produce the best work or best product possible. Yeah, and I think one thing, like I said, kind of in the beginning, failure can also be on like a scale. Like failing doesn't have to be massive. Failing could be as something as you got a bad grade on a homework assignment. All right, so you got the bad grade on the homework assignment. This is your opportunity too to not expect feedback, but also ask for it. Asking for feedback and asking for that kind of constructive criticism, I think, is a good look because it shows that you want to grow in the end as well. And from a academic point of view, and I'm sure from a professional point of view, whoever you're working with, that shows that you want to grow, be better in whatever you're doing, to eventually get you to where you want to be. And also, this is a kind of, some people could say this is true, some people could say it's not true. This is just kind of my opinion, but I do think it's important to fail to be successful, because everything you touch is not going to go your way. And I do think it's important to try out a lot of things, different industries. If we're talking professional jobs, if you're in college, testing out different degrees. If you're experimenting with a hobby, testing out different hobbies, I think the one thing I will say about failure, though, is as long as you gave whatever you were doing 100% and you still failed, I think that in a sense you should, I don't want to say pat yourself on the back, but if it fails, so be it, You got to pat yourself on the back knowing that it started as an idea, you saw it through, and sure, maybe it didn't work out, but you can confidently say you saw that idea to fruition and you gave that idea 100%. And I think that's huge because I think a lot of people just have all these ideas, but none of them ever execute, or they'll execute, but at a very low level. And then they'll be like, oh, this failed. And it's like, well, what do you expect? You didn't put everything into it that you said you might have. So if you, like I said, have that idea, give it your all, and then still fail, dude, pat yourself on the back. You had that idea and you saw it through at a high level. That's important. Because, again, a lot of people will have an idea and just never even execute. So it's better to fail than to not even try at all, too. I think that's another really big thing. Like I said, you need to fail to be successful. You're not going to have success at everything you touch. Because I think if everybody touched something and was successful, I think we'd have a whole new set of problems in our world if that was the case. So yeah, I really want to encourage you guys to change that mindset on failure, because also it's only up from whatever you failed at. You can't go like any farther back. Like if you failed, it's only up from here. So try to keep that in the back of your mind too. I will stand on the fact that failing it's okay. You gotta do it to grow. I have had family members, friends, I don't know, advisors maybe, people in academia, helping me through projects, you name it, assignments, whatever, that like it's important. You got to. And also, kind of like I said earlier, if you fail at one thing, there's something else that interests you, take a stab at that. You know, if you did everything you could for that one topic, and it didn't pan out, it's all right. If there's something else that interests you, now this is your time to take a stab at that, and kind of have that idea, give it your all, and see where it leads to. Because for all you know, that first failure could then help launch you into whatever this next idea is and make you excel and fly. So I think what I'm trying to say, and this is less a little podcast or formal style, it's more of a rant. But what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to fail. Push the limits. And if pushing the limits leads you to failure, don't let that discourage you. Only use that failure as motivation to keep going, keep getting you to that end goal. I think one thing too that I always find funny is everyone has a plan, but most plans go to shit in the end. So don't expect, if you have a little failure, a little hiccup in your plan, don't let it discourage you. Keep on going with that plan. That plan might get a little extended, don't get me wrong, but stick to that plan. Keep grinding through that failure. Use it as that fuel to propel you forward, and kind of keep that good mentality about failure. Because I think I've heard interviews and podcasts of athletes that have talked about they weren't a draft pick, they didn't have any scholarship offers, and you know they thought that was the end of the world, and they had like failed at their goal. But you know, they kept grinding, went to a college, was a walk-on, got a redshirt position, senior year rolled around, was a first string, and then maybe got drafted later in one of the later rounds of the draft. So like, yeah, it's super successful people also fail. It's not just the average Joe type of thing. Everyone Everyone goes through it, and it's totally normal too. Uh, the like I said, do what you got to do in the end as well. Grind through those failures. It's also cool too if you fail, like feel whatever comes with that. Don't just like push down whatever you're feeling that comes with that failure, because I think it is normal too that if you have an idea, you give it your everything, and then you fail at it. I think it's pretty normal to be bummed out and kind of upset and kind of like reflecting of like, oh, was this the right thing? Was this blah blah blah? Like, what, like, was I wasting my time? I don't think that's a good headspace to go to, honestly, when if you fail. But, you know, like I said, feel whatever you got to feel. Be bummed out. Be upset about it. But also don't live in that. Give yourself a couple days. Feel whatever you got to feel. Resurface. And then, like I said, start that new idea and hit the ground running with it. And yeah, so as always, I think it's time for the quote. I did find a quote that directly correlates to this topic, and it's from Dale Carnegie, and it says, "Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failures are two of the surest stepping stones to success." And I don't think I need to really explain it because I just kind of explained it through my whole little rant that I just had on it. But yeah. Use failures to your advantage. Look at them as a growing opportunity, and you will only come out the other side better. So always keep that in mind. And I think this is one thing that everybody will fail in some shape or form. And that's not saying like you're going to fail at everything by any means, but everyone's going to hit a roadblock in their plan. There's going to be a hiccup. There's going to be a failure, whether it be small or large. And you got to just fight through that adversity. And I think as soon as you switch that mindset of failing's a bad thing to failing is just a stepping stone or is a opportunity for growth, I really think that you're going to just take off in whatever the next endeavor is. So yeah, that's my spiel, rant, talk for the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you think of any feedback, comments, ideas on what I spoke about, or want me to just talk more about it, leave it in the comments. I'm here growing still. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode, and peace out.